Hi, I'm Kyle Pennypacker and welcome back to Penny Prepper. Today's video, we're going to be talking about reading material for preppers. But before we get started today, I'm going to ask that you hit the like button, subscribe, and share with any like-minded folks that you know. It really helps me being a newer channel, and I appreciate any comments or likes or shares that I can get. I always say that information is the most important prep, and going forward, you're going to understand why. Reading before the grid goes down is really going to help you out a lot because information weighs nothing and takes zero space in your pack. So it's not really going to affect you as far as if you read 25, 50 books and attain that knowledge, it's not going to weigh you down at all or hold you back. As a matter of fact, it's going to make you that much more valuable when things do go wrong because you may not be able to access the vast information on the internet. And books are another thing that if you leave them at your home in your attic, chances are they're going to be there 25 years from now. Whereas if something happens to the grid, you may lose the internet or even a thumb drive. You may not have the ability to utilize it ever again. The first book that I highly recommend is going to be Verbal Judo by George J. Thompson and Jerry V. Jenkins. It is my personal favorite book. I must have read the book about 10 times, and every time that I reread it, I make new notes and I learn something new. Not just because I reread the same thing, but when you reread it over and over again, you look at different things in different ways because you know how the ending is going to turn out. So it's one of those books where it teaches you about how to interact with people, and it's not foolproof, nothing is, but it is an incredible guide on how to navigate through conversations in a way that you and the other person that you're talking to can feel like they're winners. And that's truly the best way to come out in a conversation, because if you feel like you've won and they feel like they lost, then that can either cause physical conflict or issues either way. If they feel as though they won and you feel as though you lost, it causes resentment. It's one of those things where it's a great guide, it's a great tool, highly recommend it. A lot of police departments and even military use it all around the world. Next on the list is going to be What Everybody Is Saying by Joe Navarro. This is a great book. I've only started getting into it. I haven't gotten a chance to read all the way through, but it is a great book. This gentleman, I believe he was in the CIA, and he goes through how he learned to read people and their body language, which is a great tool to have, not just in a grid down or a SHTF situation, but in everyday use, just like the verbal judo. It is a way to understand where a person is coming from and what their feelings are towards you so you can better guide the conversation. Next on the list is going to be the SAS Survival Guide by Lofty Wiseman. This is a book that I have not gotten to read through yet, but from the reviews I see online, it's a pretty good book. And it's one of those books where it comes from a higher level of understanding of tactical survival. Not just something we'll cover later, but it gives you a higher level of situations that you can prepare for. Because obviously special forces are more specialized. They learn a lot more and are put into situations where they may be the only person that they have to rely on, whereas they may not have their other comrades to help them survive, or they may be alone for an extended period of time. All right, I wouldn't be able to put together a book or reading material list without 1984 by George Orwell. It's a book that I have on my Amazon order list. It's something that I definitely want to read. I haven't gotten a chance to. Every time that I seem to either have it in my bin or get ready to read it, I always have something come up or something else that I typically read before, because it's not so much learning survival, it's more about teaching you about different ways of seeing things or perspective. It's a great way to understand that the government and organizations are not always there to help you. And it's a great way to think around modern society. Next is going to be the Bushcraft Survival series by Dave Canterbury. I have only the first book, the Bushcraft 101, and obviously it is a 101 book. It is very basic. It is basic skills, but there are a few intermediate articles in there, and it does have illustrations which are nice. I personally found it a little too basic, but again, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be for beginners getting into bushcrafting. There was a few things in there that I haven't seen, so obviously even looking at that kind of stuff is nice. I'd like to go further in the series and get more books, because everything I've seen of Dave Canterbury has been nothing but good. I don't think I've heard a single thing anything he's put out that I would say contradicts or is wrong as far as bushcrafting, or anything like that. Like, he has a good series pretty much for everything that he shows. All right, next one is going to be a little bit biased on my part, but the Boy Scouts of America, they have a fantastic book series. Pretty much anything that they put out is going to be geared towards beginners and up. It's going to be showing you in fun and creative ways, because remember, these books are designed to capture the attention of the young and show them cool and interesting ways to learn camping, outdoors, and bushcraft. That's why I feel as though personally it's a great series of books, and pretty much anything that they put out is good. Obviously, I'm not getting into the organization itself, but as far as when I was in Scouts, not only is it great books and reading material to learn from, but also Boy Scouts made me the person I am today as far as my morals and my values, and I thank them every day for that. So even having the Boy Scout handbook would be a great tool after a situation, because you can utilize that for structure and teaching younger people values and morals. It's great stuff in there. Next, we're going to talk about the United States Army and military field manuals and guides. A lot of those are put out by the Department of Defense, which is, you can pretty much find those books anywhere, whether it's online, military surplus. You can find them at, you can even go online. A lot of websites that sell military surplus online will give you the information for free. All you have to do is print it out, which is great. You can read through it on an iPad. Obviously, that doesn't help you if something happens to the internet or electronics, but again, great information, and it covers a basis of general Joe Schmo kind of people that go into the military and works its way up. Next is going to be FEMA and the American Red Cross training materials. Obviously, the American Red Cross doesn't have just books other than like CPR, stuff like that. And same with FEMA. They don't just have a book about emergencies, but a lot of there's information you can find online. A lot of the printouts are great guides and a lot of great ways to understand situations and how to prepare. I highly recommend printing out as much of the material as you possibly can, keeping a emergency binder somewhere, pre-filling out a majority of the information. I'll admit that's something that I do, because not only is it all right there and ready, but it's also easy to read, and it gives you little blanks, and there's some categories that you don't even think about. Next on the list is going to be maps, road atlases, and brochures. As far as those go, you can find them at Walmart. You can find them at any outdoor store. You can find them online. If you're looking for more specific areas, I highly recommend online, because you can just type in what you're looking for and you'll be able to find it. If you go to Walmart or a bigger store, you may find either that store's areas maps, or you may find the most popular area around there that people go to. So that's where I bought a lot of my Appalachian Trail maps, was online on Amazon. But also you can download and print out a ton of material, which is great to have because then you can always save it for later, have it in a binder, put it in your bag, put it in Ziplocs, and you have it until you need it, which is great. But pretty much any of these categories, like I found a Road Atlas at a bargain outlet for $249, and it was the 2022 edition. It's only a year old, and I got it for that much. So you can find a lot of these. You just got to be willing to look. All right, so my challenge for you is to pick a book that I listed in my previous list here. I personally highly recommend Verbal Judo. I can't say enough about the book. It makes you very situationally aware, and it gives you a great guide for almost any conversation. And once you start to read through it, you're going to realize that you can harness your own emotions and control them, which is half the battle of a conversation. If there's anything else you would like to see in the upcoming videos, please let me know in the comments below. Stay safe and stay prepared.